This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
It's Thursday, and that means high school football is right around the corner. This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk. Let's hear about what's going on in and around Middle Tennessee from each of the writers in the Main Street Preps Network. We've got folks from Lebanon to Houston County, from Portland to Pulaski, keeping you covered each and every week. Find out what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow across the mid-state in high school football. Now, without further ado, let's start in Murray County with Maurice Patton, who has this week's update from there.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Murray. Week 6 kicks off with a trio of Thursday night games. A couple of those moved due to weather concerns, but one that was originally scheduled, Spring Hill goes to Lawrence County in a Region 5 5A matchup. Spring Hill coming off of a big homecoming overtime victory this past weekend against Lawson, and so that they go on the road with a little momentum. Lawrence County, having lost this past weekend up at Columbia Central, both trying to pick up their first win in region action against Spring Hill, 1-4 overall, 0-1 in region play to this point. Lawrence County, 1-4 overall, 0-2 in league play. So one of these teams got to pick up their first league victory here on Thursday night. A couple of other Thursday night matchups, Columbia Academy and Ezel Harding. That game was originally scheduled for Friday, but it's moving to Thursday in reaction to, some weather issues that are expected here on Friday. The Bulldogs, again, coming off a big region win as well, defeating Donaldson Christian 28-7 in Division 2A middle region play last week. It was their first region game of the season. This is not a region matchup. Ezel Harding comes in at 2-3 on the year. Couple of close wins for the Eagles. Losses, not so much. Monte Baldwin got back on the ball Friday night against DCA, 241 rushing yards, pair of touchdowns on 31 carries. It'll be intriguing to see if he picks up where he left off this past week with that. Again, that's a Thursday night game that had originally been scheduled for Friday. Another game that has been moved, a Region 6-6A matchup. Summit goes to Franklin. The Spartans 1-4 overall and 0-1 in region play. Been shut out their last 3 weeks. Offense has been really tough for the Spartans, so they're going to a Franklin team that is 3-2 overall, and they have won their only region matchup to this point, defeating Independence a couple of weeks ago, 35-14. So Summit's going to have a challenge both getting Franklin slowed down and trying to get on the scoreboard. Again, they've scored 7 points in their last 4 games, all of those losses. So it's been a tough stretch for Summit to this point. On Friday, we've got Independence going to Ravenwood. The Eagles 0-5 overall, 0-1 in Region 6-6A action. Ravenwood 5-0, 1-0, and ranked, I think, number 3 in the Tennessee Sports Writers Association's top 10 in Class 6A. So again, tough matchup here for the Eagles, who have struggled to this point against a really, really tough schedule. In Region 5-2A, Mount Pleasant hosting Lewis County. Mount Pleasant coming off of that 19-13 overtime win against Summertown last week in a matchup of 2 unbeaten teams. The Tigers 5-0 overall, 3-0 in region play. Lewis County lost to Loretto last week, 61-44. The Panthers are 2-3, 1-2 in league play. Lewis County won this matchup last year over at Hohenwald when Mount Pleasant was unbeaten coming into it. They won this game 43-14. So expect Mount Pleasant to be on edge for this one at home. What else we got this weekend? Oh, finally, back to Region 5 5A as well. We started with Region 5-5A. We're going to finish with Region 5-5A. Tullahoma comes to Columbia Central. The Wildcats coming in 2-3 overall, 1-1 in region play. Columbia Central 3-2 and 1-1. Picked up their first region victory this past weekend, again defeating Lawrence County 24-7, looking to build on that. So big matchup right here. Again, Columbia Central went on the road last year and dropped a tough one down at Tullahoma, expecting the Lions to kind of be reminded of that through this week and take heed of that on Friday night. Should be a good one. I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor for Main Street Murray. That does us for week 6. We'll see y'all next week.
Let's go over now to Rutherford County, where Monte Hale has you set with his Murfreesboro area report.
Hello, I'm Monte Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post. Week 6 action coming up on Friday night. No Thursday night games. Got some more region matchups. We'll start with a big one, Stewart's Creek at Antioch. Antioch is undefeated in region play. So is Stewart's Creek. Two really good teams. I think the winner of this certainly gets a major leg up in terms of hoping to win the regular season championship. Two dynamic offenses, two really good quarterbacks. That should be a great game up in Antioch. McGavick visits Smyrna. This is a pivotal game for Smyrna. They did win their region opener, but things are going to get tougher. This is one of those games you got to win. Right now they're fighting to get into the playoffs. And you lose this game, the chances go down a little bit. Kings Academy at PCA is a region game. PCA is really having a nice year. They made the playoffs last year, their first ever year into the TSSAA, but they're a lot better football team. They're 3-2, but they've lost to two really good opponents. So I look for PCA to have a good chance at that one. MTCS at Friendship Christian. What a difference a year makes. These two teams played for the state championship last year, won by MTCS, but they're totally different teams. They lost Mr. Football finalist. I think they're, like I said, they're maybe not rebuilding, but, they're trying to reload. We'll put it that way. Laverne's at Cane Ridge. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to score. Both these teams have really labored to score. Cane Ridge probably a slight favorite in this one, but it's a chance for Laverne to get on the board, as they say. We've got Wayne County at Eagleville. This is kind of another one of those swing games or pivotal games because these are two very similar teams. Eagleville, they've played a lot of home games early thus far, so they got some difficult road trips, to like Cornersville and Richland and places like that. So this is a game they need to get under their belt. Rockvale at Oakland. Okay. You got two teams going in the opposite direction. But, Oakland's coming off a very emotional win. Will they come out flat this week? Will they come out, was that a wake-up call for them? And, when I say wake-up call, that's not disparaging to Blackman at all. They came to play. And they've got good athletes. They've got a good defense. You got to think, their two losses are to Ravenwood and Brentwood, two state-ranked teams. All righty, and finally, we've got Blackman at Siegel. This is an interesting game in that how will Blackman handle that devastating loss? They outplayed Oakland, and this is according to Oakland coach Kevin Creasy for 47.5 minutes. They should have beat us. He goes, I thought they had it in the bag. How will they respond after that loss? Because losing to Raven and Brentwood is one thing. Those are non-region games. This was a chance to knock off the bully, so to speak. And so Coach Kreisky faces a difficult task this week, getting those guys back up. They play at Siegel. Siegel is struggling, but they're a hungry football team. They did put up 27 points against a pretty good Hendersonville team last week. So it'll be interesting to chart that game as well. So a lot of good matchups this week, and hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate. There's a possibility we might get a lot of rain. I know we need it, but at least not during game time. All right, I'm Monte Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post.
Thanks, Monty, as always. We'll take our first break right now. When we come back, more previews from around the Mid-State here on the Main Street Media High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Stay tuned.
He shoots, and he scores!
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back into the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show right here on Main Street Media Television each and every week on Thursdays. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got more from around the Mid-State to get you prepared for what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow in high school football around Middle Tennessee. Let's go to Wilson County where Tommy Bryan has you covered.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tommy Bryan, sports editor of the Wilson Post in Lebanon. And here's a look at what's going on in high school football coming up on Friday, September 27. Travel shouldn't be much of an issue on Friday as Wilson County's 7 football teams will be in action with 3 contests on tap locally and 2 more slated for adjacent counties. Headlining the schedule is a pair of intra-county matchups featuring Wilson Central at Mount Juliet in a Region 4 6A battle, while Lebanon makes the short trip to Watertown to tangle with the Purple Tigers. Central, 2-3, 0-1 in the region, enters Friday's game at Roger Perry Field on the heels of a 44-0 loss at Shelbyville Central. In fact, the Wildcats have been outscored 80-0 over their last 2 games. Mount Juliet stands a perfect 5-0 and 3-0 in region play after whipping previously undefeated Cookeville 38-21. Lebanon and Watertown enters Friday's game at Robinson Stadium with identical records of 1-4 and are 2 football teams in desperate need of a win. The Purple Tigers defeated Cascade 20-3 last week, while the Blue Devils dropped a 52-28 decision at Green Hill. A halftime ceremony is planned to commemorate the 60th anniversary of Watertown's 9-7 victory over Lebanon in the 1964 Industrial Bowl, in what is expected to be the final game of a 2-year home-and-home arrangement between the 2 local programs. Another Region 4 6A encounter features undefeated Green Hill, 5-0, 2-0 in the region, playing at Gallatin in the Friday Night Rivals series on MyTV 30. The Green Wave stand 2-3, 2-2 in the region. They unloaded on Warren County last Friday, thumping the Pioneers by a score of 65-0 in McMinnville. A rematch of the 2023 Division IIA Blue Cross Bowl is on tap Friday at Pirtle Field as Friendship Christian plays host to defending state champ Middle Tennessee Christian in the Division IIA East Region opener for both squads. The Commanders, 3-2 overall, were idle last week after Nashville Republic declined to play, resulting in a 1-0 forfeit. Middle Tennessee Christian enters Friday's 7:30 game with a record of 2-3 following a 34-21 road loss to the Webb School last week. Still smarting from last Friday's 58-0 home loss to Nashville Christian School, Mount Juliet Christian Academy takes a record of 3-2 across the Davidson County line to challenge Donaldson Christian Academy. DCA is 4-1 and coming off a 28-7 loss at Columbia Academy. That's a look at the high school football action involving Wilson County's 7 football programs. I'm Tommy Bryan for Main Street Preps, and I will talk to you later.
Tommy, as always, we greatly appreciate it. Love seeing that mug each and every week on TV. Let's go now to Sumner County, where Blaine Kellar is standing by.
The battle for Drakes Creek headlines Sumner County's Week 6 high school football slate, as well as 6 other games involving area teams. I'm Sumner County Sports Editor Blaine Kellar, here to break them all down. We'll start with Beach and Hendersonville. That classic rivalry again, the battle for Drakes Creek. 2 4-1 teams battling off in Shackle Island. Beach won last year's contest 34-14 behind a 5-touchdown performance from quarterback Caden Powell. They'll need another big performance to top their rival Commandos at home on Friday night. We've got a couple of other games already moved here on Wednesday afternoon due to weather that's threatening within the area. Greenbrier is at White House. That's a Thursday 7 p.m. kickoff now, and Springfield hosting Portland in Region 7 5A play. That also being a Thursday night kickoff again at 7 p.m. So 2 games moved so far. The other 5 still on tap as we record this Wednesday for Friday. Other games including Gallatin and Green Hill, that being the MyTV 30 game of the week, should be a fun one. Friday night rivals will have a great broadcast there. Liberty Creek looking to bounce back from a loss at East Nashville. They go on the road to take on 4-1 Westmoreland. The Eagles are playing really strong football right now. Station Camp is at Pearl Cone after picking up its first win of the season. And JP2, with back-to-back Middle Region wins, takes on Davidson Academy in what will be a really crucial Division II AA Middle Region matchup. To look into the games happening within Sumner County this week, we'll kick it back to you guys.
Thanks, Blaine. Always a pleasure to hear from you. We'll go over now to Robertson County, where David Wilson has you covered with a report.
Everybody, this is David Wilson, sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection, here to give you a quick preview of all the Week 6 games across the Robertson County area as we enter the first week of fall and the last Friday in September. Weather will be a big factor across the mid-state this week, as impending rain has already moved 2 games up this week from Friday to Thursday as of 10:51 a.m. on this Thursday morning. Springfield and Portland's Region 7 5A tilt in Robertson County has now been moved to Thursday at 7 o'clock. Springfield, who is 2-3 on the year, hosting Portland, who is a 3-2 team, as they battle in region play. Also, another game that has been moved is White House Heritage in their region tilt on homecoming that it was now been canceled against Sycamore. So those are 2 games this week that have been moved up due to the impending rain on Friday night, moved up to Thursday this week. We're still waiting some other games across the area to be decided on whether they're moved up. I will pass those updates along on Twitter. As soon as they're made available, they will be retweeted on the Main Street Preps Twitter account. But into some quick previews. The matchup of the week around Robertson County this week is Greenbrier traveling on the road to face rival White House in Region 5-4A. White House has won 7 straight over the Bobcats, including 5 in a row for Ryan Hamilton, as he's taken over for former White House coach, Hall of Famer Jeff Porter. So Ryan Hamilton has never lost to the Bobcats, and they are looking to continue their winning ways this year. They won 3 in a row up until last week's loss on the road in Marshall County, looking to get back into the win column in Region 5-4A. Moving on, the matchup of the year from last year was East Robertson and Smith County. Those two had some great battles last year during the regular season on the Friday Night Rivals game of the week, and then in the quarterfinals of the Class 2A playoffs. They will renew their rivalry this week as East Robertson travels to the Hole to face the Owls of Smith County. East Robertson, the number 1 team in the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Class 2A poll, facing a Smith County team that has struggled to start the year. They are 1-4, graduated a lot of seniors from last year's roster, but it's always a challenge playing on the road, as Chase Brooks would admit, and it'll be a stiff challenge this week in the rainy conditions out in Smith County. Moving on, Cheatham County will be hosting their lone quote-unquote home game of the year this week against Joe Burns. That game will be played actually at Sycamore High School, as Cheatham County is doing renovations on their football field out in Ashland City. Joe Burns coming off the near upset of East Robertson last week. They are 1-4 in the year, traveling to face the Cubs of Cheatham County, that is 0-5. This is a good bounce-back week and opportunity for Justin Robinson's group. As I mentioned, coming off the near upset last week against East Robertson, they played some things together, and they were looking to have their quarterback back this week, and Luke Miller, who's missed the last 2 games with a concussion. And then finally, South Pittsburgh, the defending Class A state champions, will host Innovation Academy this week as they are looking for their first win of the year. The Sentinels are. This is a regular slate that they have faced the last 3 weeks, and they're in the middle of. Last week they faced Bradley Central, who was in Class A. This week they are facing the defending Class A state champs in South Pittsburgh, and next week they will face Brentwood Academy on homecoming. So a rigorous 3-game slate for Innovation Academy as they continue their trek through their first year of playing TSSAA football. So that'll do it on this abbreviated edition of the preview here in Robertson County. Looking forward to talking to you guys next week, and I'll provide updates on all the rain and the potential rescheduling as they become available.
Thanks, David. Greatly appreciate all of your work this season so far. We're going to take our final break of the day. Got a couple more previews to get to, so stick around here on the Main Street Media High School Football Preview Show, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
He shoots, and he scores!
Welcome back into the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show here on Main Street Media Television. Don't forget, you can always download your Main Street Media Television app on your smart TV or on your iPhone, Android, Fire Stick, Apple devices, all of that, Main Street Media TV. If you don't have access to any of those, you can always go to mainstreetmediatv.com, visit our YouTube channel, Facebook pages, or, of course, on X, formerly known as Twitter. Make sure to check out all of our great shows that air each and every day. They are on demand, online, as well as live each and every week. So without further ado, got a couple more previews to get to. Let's go to Calvin White, who's up in Montgomery and Houston counties.
Hello everyone, this is Calvin White, sports editor with Main Street Clarksville, here to give you a quick preview of all the Week 6 action in Montgomery County. We're going to start with Clarksville is at Dixon County. Like Kirkwood last week, Dixon County will be Clarksville's toughest test to this point in the season. Dixon County's defense forced 6 turnovers last week in a 17-14 win over Kirkwood. The game of the week in Montgomery County this week, Kirkwood is at Rossview. Kirkwood, like I just mentioned, coming off that 17-14 loss to Dixon County, and Rossview is 5-0 for the first time in program history. Northwest is at West Creek. West Creek's defense forced 2 turnovers against Clarksville last week, but the Coyotes' offense was only able to score 7 points, and Northwest has dropped 4 in a row after winning their season opener against Fort Campbell. Northeast is at Henry County. Northeast is yet to break into the win column this year. Outside of their 44-26 loss to Rossview, the Eagles have failed to score more than 13 points in a single game. Henry County comes in at 3-2 with losses to Riverdale and Brentwood, who are both ranked in the top 10 in Division 6A and the Tennessee Sports Writers Association poll. Whites Creek is at Montgomery Central. Montgomery Central also winless at 0-5. Whites Creek won their first 3 games but have dropped their last 2. They visit Montgomery Central this week. And Collinwood is at Clarksville Academy. Clarksville Academy 1-4. Collinwood coming in 2-3. Both of Collinwood's wins have come by double digits, but even two of their losses have been close games. Like Montgomery Central, Clarksville Academy has also struggled offensively to score. The Cougars scored 30 points in a 30-12 win over Ezel Harding in Week 2, but outside of that, Clarksville Academy has not scored more than 7 points this season. That wraps up all of the Week 6 preview action in Montgomery County. I'm Calvin White, sports editor with Main Street Clarksville. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Calvin. Greatly appreciate what you have done this season. And finally, Cheatham and Dickson counties, where Casey Patrick is standing by.
Hi, how are y'all? My name is Casey Patrick. I'm a sports reporter for the Dickson Post and the Cheatham County Exchange. We're going to give you a quick preview into Week 6 of football action. We're going to start over in Dickson County. It's a game I'll be at. Dickson County's hosting Clarksville. Huge game in that region. Clarksville, of course, 5-0. They've been really dominant all year long. Dickson County had a slow start to the season. They've won 3 in a row. They're 3-2. Cougars looking to get back into the playoffs. This could be a really big step into doing that. Next up is Creekwood. Creekwood's hosting Fairview. It's going to be Creekwood's homecoming. The Redhawks are 4-1. The one blemish coming against Pearl Cone. But other than that, Creekwood's had 4 other games where they looked really, really good. They're hosting a really strong Fairview program. Chris Hughes, a good coach out there. Not going to be an easy one to win, but I think Creekwood's got a good chance to win on homecoming. Moving over into the Cheatham County. Cheatham County Central hosts Joe Burns, and that's kind of a weird way to put it. Of course, Cheatham County Central, they're renovating the stadium, so the Cubs haven't had any home games this year, but they worked it out where they could play at Sycamore in Pleasant View. So Cheatham's going to host Joe Burns for homecoming. Cheatham County Central is 0-5. They're looking for their first win on the year. They've got a real chance here with Joe Burns coming to town for homecoming. Now moving to Sycamore. Sycamore is going to White House Heritage. Sycamore 2-3 on the year. Been a lot of up and down. Going to see if they can get back up. Last week was not a good week for them. 7 turnovers and a loss to Stratford. And then Harpeth versus Summertown. Harpeth is 2-3 on the year. Summertown's another big region game. It's going to be tough for the Indians to get into the playoffs because they've got a few region losses. This is a big game for them with playoff implications. So Summertown coming to town. Harpeth needs that one. Thank y'all and have a wonderful evening. Stay dry this Friday.
Casey, thanks so much. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here on this edition of the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Again, don't forget tonight is the Main Street Preps High School Football Game of the Week. You can see it on Main Street Media Television, so please make sure to tune in, and you just may hear a familiar voice, or maybe not. We'll see. So join us then. Until next time, I'm Chris Yao for Main Street Media. Have a great day.
This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
He shoots, and he scores!
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.